when last you were here, you began your. I'll give you a broad overview since some of us are rejoining after an extended period of absence. Your adventure began in the port city of Daggerford, where the local lord, the Baroness, Lady Morwen Daggerford, had asked you, after you had acclaimed some renown in the area, to investigate and find out about the raids that were happening on local farms, kidnapping children apparently, and slaughtering livestock and killing people. Locals had claimed that they had seen wolf-like men, which was largely unheard of in these parts, and it wasn't certain what the story was, be it actually werewolves that had come, or was it bandit raids, or what have you. The lady promised you a small but not insignificant sum of gold to find out what had happened. You stocked up and left the city of Daggerford and headed out towards one of the local farms. On your way there, you discovered that another farm on the way had more recently been raided. Several of the livestock slaughtered, the man of the house killed, the woman still remaining alive somewhat, and their young son kidnapped, taken, described by wolf-like creatures that walked on two legs. You quickly assessed the tracks and found indeed that these were animal-like tracks, but bipedal and much larger and heavier. Heading out into the woods, you gave chase. Finding yourselves in the woods, the scenery somewhat began to change. The world started to feel different. The air smelled different. Everything was just felt wrong and off. Darkness began to seep in upon you, and a creeping fog you found surrounding yourselves. You tried to climb up into a tree to get a better view, unable to see very much, and you tried dispelling the fog through magical means, finding it to be quite ineffective despite druidic magic, which was quite disturbing. Continuing onwards, you found that no matter what direction you turned or how you went, you could only pass in one direction. Eventually, following the road, you came upon large gates that were entirely unfamiliar, even to those that knew the surrounding area, depicting kings and warlords that were ancient. They had the appearance of having been untouched in centuries, which would be entirely unusual in this area. Shortly thereafter, you discovered the corpse of a young man bearing a letter just off the side of the gates, which was written by a man by the name of Kolin and Dirovich, a burgomaster or mayor of a village by the name of Barovia, who begged for help, essentially. He said that that these lands had been besieged, and that he begged essentially that all those stay away, do not come near, seal off these lands and leave them to their fates. The young man bearing the letter had been slaughtered, with wounds on his body that seemed to be consistent with, indeed, wolf bites and claw marks. After staying in that area and investigating for some period of time, you all were besieged by a pack of dire wolves. The fight was brutal, and you managed to survive, but only just. Licking your wounds and resting, you pressed onwards, eventually coming upon swamplands where you made camp, and then eventually seeing a small village on the horizon with smokestacks rising from it. Entering the village of Barovia, the one mentioned by Kolin and Dirovich in his letter. He also in his letter had mentioned that his daughter, Irina, had been twice bitten by a vampire, and that he feared for her very life. Upon arrival into the village, you found a strange land entirely unfamiliar to all of you around. There were row houses, mostly empty, and homes with small amounts of light and smoke rising from them and very little faint activity. 2 small children stood in the center of the road and told you all as you arrived that a monster was in their house and that their baby brother Walter was in the nursery on the upper floors. You decided to enter out of goodness to rescue the babe, only to discover that the house was largely abandoned. Although the lower floors clean and dusted, you did notice the sigil of a windmill worked into paintings on the wall and into the hilt of a sword that was above the mantelpiece. Upon further investigation, magical armaments and defenses of the house seemed to come to life and attack, an animated suit of armor. Upon further investigation, you found that Walter was the product of an affair between the man of the house and the nursemaid who was then slaughtered, apparently the parents members of some horrific cannibalistic cult that had worked in the basement to do their horrific deeds, their ritual sacrifices and slaughters, and perform their cannibalistic rituals, all in the means of appeasing an evil god. The ghosts and remnants of the cult still dwelled within the house and attempted upon your arrival to raise the very such beast. Only after defeating this monster and escaping just with your lives into the streets, nearly dead, after discovering that the children that you saw were not real but merely illusions, as the actual children had been starved to death after being locked in the attic of their insane parents, who were members of this cult. You were greeted by none other than Baron Strahd Count Strahd von Zervich, who, along with his footmen, welcomed you to the lands of Barovia and told you that he liked to personally greet all of his guests and to size them up. Count Strahd took from you the sword that you had taken from the house and basically sized you all up to some degree and bid you good day, and then left in his coach through the city streets. You pressed onwards, now beat up, tired, and in dire need of food, shelter, and rest, to find the local inn, which had been inhabited by few people, a inn by the name of the Blood of the Vine, or Blood in the Vine, previously Blood of the Vine. Inside there, you met a man by the name of Ismark the Lesser, the son of Kolin Indirovich, the burgomaster. Ismark Indirovich told you that his adopted sister, Irina, had been tortured by Count Strahd, that he had taken some liking to her and had sent his minions throughout the night, surrounding their home, torturing her, and that she had been twice bit. He feared for her life and that he would claim her as one of his own, and begged you to help him get her out of the city of Barovia. He begged for your aid to take her to what he believed would be a stronger city, a place by the name, or stronger town, the fortified town of Vallaki. You agreed to help Ismark. However, on arrival, you learned that recently his father, the burgomaster, had in fact died, had succumbed to the tortures that were being imbued upon his family by Count Strahd and others. Died 3 days hence of a heart attack, and Irina would not leave his body until given a proper burial. The only place that she would agree would be in the local cemetery, where the priest of the town had not been well recently. A man by the name of Donovich, upon arriving into the chapel, you helped carry the body of Kolonendirovich there, and found Donovan essentially mad. The entire chapel destroyed, pieces of shrapnel and debris everywhere, and him at an altar essentially chanting and reciting prayers over and over again to gods that do not listen. You heard screams of terror coming from the basement and begging, Father, Father, you're starving me, Father. Upon investigation, you learned that Donovan's child, his only son, Dormu, had been bitten by Strahd and turned into a spawn of the vampire. He, in a vain attempt to overthrow the devil. In the basement, you found him ravished, starved for blood, and mad. Through a sense of duty that his soul must be laid to rest, you attempted to slay him. Through wit, means, and sheer luck, you did indeed manage to slay the body of Dormu. And in the Undercroft of the chapel is where we find you now, as Priest Donovan comes down the stairs to find his slaughtered son, or the body of his slaughtered son that had become a spawn of the vampire. And you all, covered in blood and remains, barely still alive. Donovan collapses onto the ground, tears overwhelming him, and cries for his deceased son. And this is where we find you all now. And I will take you there. You have to bear with me for just a moment. I'm having a little Roll20 trouble.
No problem.
And I'll take you there. I hope that summary was adequate. That was just off. Man, that was just off the dome.
Huh. When you said slay the devil, did you mean Strahd or an actual devil, a different person?
They here in Barovia, if everyone refers to Strahd as the devil.
Gotcha.
He is the devil Strahd.
Clearly, the man needs a better PR department.
Or maybe he has the perfect one.
Okay. And I'll take you there now. You all are down in the Undercroft of the church. Donovich, it's not Donovan, Donovich is just broken down into tears and crying, and you all surround the body of Doru, D-O-R-U, his son, the former vampire spawn. What do you all do, say?
Quick, was I dead? Was I dead?
You are not dead. Bert, you may have been unconscious briefly, but everybody is still alive as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
You're all a lot worse for the wear right now.
Indeed we are.
Except for Nico.
It was just fine, just showed
I
up.
bet, really?
What
So
does the
nothing
body?
happened?
What does the body look like? This kid that, or is there no body anymore? It's burst into blood parts.
There is a body there. What What are you trying to get a sense for? Like, are you just looking at it, or are you trying to like
Yeah,
understand
wanna-
medicine about it?
No, I just want to look at it.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Okay. Come on. Sorry, it's this window. Gotcha. Oh, I clicked it.
Okay, I don't know.
There we go. Hey,
First roll is always a toughie. All right, 15. He's not breathing.
Yeah.
As you look into his eyes, you don't see any light of life in the eyes at all. They are black. In his mouth, he has what appears to be like fangs. He's gaunt appearing, like he's been wasting away. There's no fat on the body at all, sinew and a little bit of muscle, and his fingers have extended into like long claw-like shapes. And the body is still with multiple wounds on it inflicted by you all. There's no bleeding.
Can I kneel down and close the eyelids?
Yes, you can.
I'll do that.
It doesn't respond any.
Yeah, no, it's just creeping me out.
Bert Beasley is very curious to see maybe how many times this guy was bitten. You know, maybe if that has to do with him being turned into a vampire.
Yeah. Roll, I guess, medicine, Bert, so you can identify.
Unfortunately, vampires aren't really covered. It's under most insurance policies. So
There are multiple skewer marks to the neck. You see at least 6 puncture wounds, and you're not certain how many times you've been bitten.
interesting. But you know, because the sister, Irina, you know, she's been bitten twice. Bert Beasley's just hoping that she doesn't turn into a ghoul. Well,
Well, I think it's safe to assume that this guy was bit more than twice.
more than twice. That does make sense.
So, I sort of turn to the father and say, I know this is truly devastating. It seems as though you may have lost your son a long time ago, though. Can you tell us a little bit about how this happened to him?
Yeah. I'm not even going to make you roll persuasion. He breaks down in front of you and just sort of begins to blubber his eyes out and kind of cry. And he tells you, he says, Doru and several other villagers, they stormed Castle Ravenloft in revolt. They'd all been lured there by a wizard in black robes who came to Barovia from a faraway land, promising them that they could defeat the devil. The wizard died, apparently by Strahd's hand, and so too did Doru. He returned to me like this, sent back to be my own torture. It was from an attempt to kill the devil.
Are uprisings like this common?
There have been many attempts. No one has ever been successful.
Hmm.
So life under the devil isn't great, huh?
He says nothing. He just sort of lowers his head.
Is this the only devil there's ever been?
He is our torture. Before him, there was Mother Night and the Morning Lord. They have abandoned us and forsaken us for the devil's Strahd. He is beyond death, and he rules these lands.
Do you have any idea of the kind of people or creatures that the devil likes to go after?
He takes his pick of brides. I know that he has fancied the daughter of the burgomaster, Colin Andirovich, most recently.
What kind of relationship does the devil have with the burgomaster?
And none that I'm aware of.
Hmm.
We
So the-
are we're actually trying to help, the daughter so that she does not become a bride of Strahd. But she will not leave unless her father is buried.
Yes, we must bury him, and we must bury Doru as well. It must be at dawn. We must bury them at dawn in honor of the Morning Lord.
The Morning Lord who abandoned you and has left you all to be ruled by the Strahd here. That doesn't sound very, very great. We should definitely bury them right now, is what Bert Beasley says in a very intimidating tone.
It is all we have left. It is all I have left. Doru is a priest of the Morning Lord, so for what it's worth, roll me intimidation. It's gonna be tough.
My best feature there. And
He looks over at you and he says, "It would not be safe to do it at night."
Are there any preparations we need to make for the body?
I will prepare Colin and Doro. Bring them both into the main chapel. I will prepare the bodies. Please come back at dawn, and we will have the burial.
Well, Bert, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling quite fatigued. A little snooze
Bert Beasley's like super dead.
wouldn't go amiss.
Uh,
I would like to see, do I know of any ways to like repel vampires? To discourage them?
Roll history. Not really.
Can we ask Doru? Are there any wards that
You mean Donovich?
Donovich, yeah, I'm sorry, Donovich. Are there any wards or anything that you practice to try to keep this evil at bay or him at bay?
He says we are at his mercy. These lands are his.
So nothing like garlic or onions or potatoes?
It's only got bad breath.
You may wear a potato if you wish.
It will do you no good, huh?
I know not of any weakness to this devil.
Wet Rock kind of grabs the potato that's been hanging around his neck and tucks it into his shirt. Yeah. For the first time.
From what we have seen and heard, it does sound like a strong house, with all the doors and windows barred, may be enough to help keep them out. We've seen a couple buildings like that.
We go there?
Most of the time they must be invited in.
Oh.
But this is little protection here.
Do people just invite them in, or
Are they disguised?
Oftentimes he can be. He can assume many forms.
Such as?
Many bones.
Animals, people, even the wind itself.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
Okay.
that's
That
problematic.
Then-
sounds good.
Is it like a shaded wind or clear wind?
I do not know. Mist, fog, a terrible fog.
Fog. Gotcha.
They say that he appears as a wolf, or sometimes as a bat,
Mm.
and that he can sleep under doors and pass through cracks in ceilings, down chimneys.
Is there a way to make sure that he's not invited?
I
A way
do
to
not even.
signal
I do not even know.
signal
That,
a disinvitation, if you will.
I do not even know that this is true. This is
Gotcha.
just what they say. But he is everywhere. He is the land.
Awesome.
Well, it
So-
sounds like
Can we pull up a pew and take a rest?
I will work through the evening to prepare the bodies for the burial. You may stay here if you wish.
Do we think that's a good idea?
Should we get the girl and like try and sleep and keep watch over her?
Now you stayed at the inn. You stayed at the inn last night, so I don't know if you're going to go back there. You
We
did
got
stay. Yeah, you did stay at the Blood of the Vine Inn.
I mean, the pro
Previously.
going to the end is there's more people there. Which could help.
Yeah, protection in numbers.
Yeah.
We'd
Or
have
just
to-
like a school of fish, right? Like less likely to get eaten if you're not alone.
Hmm.
I
How
think I
clo-
vote for the inn.
How close is
Yeah.
the inn?
It's
in
just down the street.
down the street.
No. We can see it from the door here.
Here, I'll take you to the map of this city.
I can only see a black screen.
Okay.
You might need to pan your camera.
Yeah, my panned.
Where are you, Wet Rock? I don't know where you're at, Wet Rock. Oh, you may not be there because you weren't here last time. Ha ha ha.
That's right.
There is no Wet Rock, only Zool.
He is in the darkness with his
Whoa.
potato.
That's right. Just caressing the potato.
You all are here at the church. Here.
Yeah.
The inn is this building right here.
Ooh. Ooh. Let's stroll.
The burgomaster's house is this mansion down here.
Hmm.
Well, I think Bert Beasley really wants to go to the end. It worked once. No reason it can't work again.
Are you going to collect Irina first, and Ismark first, or just going to the end first?
I think we should bring them to the end with us.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I
Alright.
agree.
Irina Kolanya and Ismark Indirovich.
They're
She's
down.
adopted. She's adopted. Just you noticed that they have two separate last names or surnames. Okay. So you head out through the streets of Barovia. It's getting late. Let me change the soundscape for you. What everybody actually roll me a perception check. Everybody.
What are you doing?
Bergoth a 6. Bagamo a 16. Pretty good. Wet Rock a 9. Bert Beasley a 15. Nico, a 10. Is that everybody? That's
Mhm.
everybody. Okay. Bert and Bagamo, you catch a glimpse of something. I'm going to bring you onto the streets here. It's getting late in the eve. You catch a glimpse of the same old woman that some of you had bought the dream pastries from previously, pushing her little cart down the street, going up house to house to house. And she is standing at the front of a home, and there are two people, adults there, that seem to be like having some sort of like pleading with her. And only those that beat a 15 notice this at all. You see a small child at the door, and the old woman grab the small child by the neck and then throw the child into a compartment on the cart and slap the door of the cart closed and continue to push the cart on down the row, calling out dream pastries. Dream pastries.
Wow.
Hmm.
Hell no. We're not gonna let this drug dealer lady with the creepy pastries steal a kid, are we?
I mean, do you?
I mean, do we really care? Like, does it concern us?
Hmm.
Could she be one of Strahd's disguises? You know, going around getting welcomed in places, handing out these drug pies, these narcotic pies, and then
Why would they steal the child to kill?
well, they're clearly selling the child for
Yeah.
drug pies.
Oh, duh.
Or maybe the pies are people.
Ooh,
Oh my god, like Edward or
dream realized. Also,
Sweeney Todd.
oh God, what about the cannibals?
Should we
They're
follow?
they're long since dead.
Oh,
But there might be more.
could be.
Should we follow? How would we even go about following and then confronting, no less?
Well, I'm just gonna run up and open that cart.
No taking children. No.
You just run up to the woman.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Okay. As you run up, she turns and looks at you and says, as you're about to like reach for the card, and she says, "Oh my dearie, dearie me! If you need a pastry that bad, it will only be 2 gold."
Ma'am, I do not need any of your dodgy pastries, but you are going to let that child out of the cart. Thank you very much.
She
I kind of step 2 to back up.
roll me an intimidation check.
All right.
You can take advantage on it too. Move your character piece over to where she is. She's this lady over here.
Ooh, you should take advantage.
That is insight, Amy.
Oh, whoops. Wrong
It's
one.
+4 versus a +1.
Yeah.
Okay, that's better.
Well,
All right,
so it would just be a 17.
Move your characters tokens to where you're at.
So first things first, do the rest of us like, because only some of us noticed this.
Yep, I don't know what Bagmo did. I just heard Bagmo ran up there.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't
saw
really know what's
Bagmo
going
running,
on, so
and
I'll
I
just,
took off after her.
yeah.
So the rest of you, it's Wet Rock and Bagmo that took off running towards the old woman, and the remaining 3 of you, you can decide how you would respond to Bagmo doing that.
Look at this.
I think what I would like to stay behind so that not our whole group doesn't get destroyed, you know.
Yeah.
We'll let Bagmo check that out.
Okay, with an 18 intimidation and a 17 intimidation, she looks at you all and she looks down and she unclicks the lock, and the little boy scrambles out, and he looks at you with fearful eyes, and he runs down the street. And she closes the lock and says, "Very well." And she looks over at the house where the he runs into the two what you assume are his parents' arms, and she gives them a knowing look, and then looks at you, and then says to you, Bagmo, "Who was it that ate the pastry?"
It was Ergoth.
Yeah. Ergoth, roll me a wisdom save, please. Can I interest you in a pastry? Ergoth, you want nothing more than to eat another pastry. You're not compelled to do it, but you are just fantasizing about how great it was. The dreams you had.
So maybe, because I'm still kind of confused at what's going on here. And so I sort of walk up. I hung back because I really didn't understand what was going on. And
as you're doing that, Wet Rock, make me a quick dexterity check, please.
Dex checks.
Dex check, Wet Rock.
Okay, I'm working on it. That's a saving throw. Sorry.
You can do it as a saving throw. If you have it as a save.
Ooh.
Woo! Okay.
Critical.
That's good.
I feel good about it.
Yeah, that's real good.
What do I get?
Nothing right now.
Okay.
I'm
so dexterous standing still. The potential energy is
I'm gonna put it this way. Something doesn't happen.
That's so good. I'm so glad.
She looks over at you though, and you notice that there was I don't know if you perceive it, but I guess with a dex you have to perceive it to get it. There was the subtlest whip of a strand of hair that she had tried to whip around you. But you managed to sort of dodge out of the way of it kind of quickly with that amazing check.
Sweet. I reach over and kind of put my hand on Bagmo's shoulder and say, "We saved the kid. I don't like this."
And she looks over at you, and she says, "Sweet dreams." And she smiles.
Should we ask why she's taking this child, or should we just let her go? I mean, what do we?
I think we're pretty. I mean,
So yeah. So my affinity for her wares leads me to sort of say, "Hey, now, maybe there's just a misunderstanding here. What
This is a child trafficking drug ring.
What was your what was going on here? I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation."
She's trying to move away. Are you guys preventing her from fleeing?
I'm gonna grab her cart.
Oh no.
Wet Rock does not like this situation.
Make
very uneasy.
Make me a dexterity check.
Is being so assertive.
Bagamo.
And child protective services.
Okay. Bagamo, she looks at you and she says, "Sweet dream."
God, what?
And then she looks over at you all and she says, "I will collect my payment. They all pay in the end."
I throw 2 gold at her and say, "You leave that kid alone, you old bitch."
Boom.
She quickly snaps up the gold and says, "Good day to you, dearie." And
sweet dreams.
Pushes the chart onwards. The cart on down the road.
Goodness gracious.
It's creepy. I don't trust it. I don't like it. Where are we going? We need to get moving that direction. I'm glad we keep that kid.
See her doing something shady one more time.
Now, we don't know
We should talk to the parents and see why they are selling their child for pastries.
Oh, that's a good
I know
idea.
why they're selling their child.
Oh,
Why?
God.
For drugs.
For drugs. Uh-oh. We got
For dream drugs.
I mean,
And Ergot's halfway there to being a junkie.
Uh-oh.
That's like what my parents did to me.
Uh-oh.
Now, let's not be hasty.
Let's not be hasty. You know, guys, we came out here, we had a mission, and that mission was to go get the people that we were trying to protect and take them to the inn for protection. If we get sidetracked here chasing this creepy lady who definitely has some kind of dark magic about her, I don't like it.
I would like to follow up with the parents, though, because it would be good to, because we need to know more about what this place is all about. So I think it would be very reasonable, since we liberated their child, to go check up on them and make sure the kid's okay.
I'm a member of the team, and I'll follow you guys and make sure that someone's got eyes on your back, but I don't like it.
The house is sealed and closed. There's a faint light on the inside. Doors appear to be closed tightly. It was in this home here. She moves on down the street and out of view with her little push cart.
Which home?
Listen.
Okay, the one we're standing right in front of.
Yeah.
Well, we should go up and knock on the door, and if they don't open it, then our friend Nico here can pick the lock.
Okay.
I wouldn't be the first one.
What?
As you knock on the door, there is no answer.
Oh, God. Let's leave these people alone. We can talk to them tomorrow.
I don't know. I have a plan, you know, once we get in there.
What?
Now we're breaking and entering. Did we not come here to save these people? What are we doing?
His plan is to sell them insurance.
No, to sell them what they really want.
Oh, God.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Dream pastries.
Yeah. I still have one. Still got a drug pie.
Wait, is that your actual plan?
Yeah. They clearly want drugs. They'll tell us anything for a pastry.
Oh, God.
That's a good point.
Well, I don't think we should break in, though. Like, that doesn't
Well,
make
they're
any
not
sense.
answering the door.
Just yell out there's a free dream pastry.
How are they going to respond to people breaking in and trying to sell them drugs? Like,
And
I feel like if
then are we going to berate them for getting their
some...
kid kidnapped? Like,
I don't know. It sounds.
I don't like this.
But Rockets, it all sounds risky. Maybe we could yell. I don't know. Should we really be drawing attention to ourselves like that?
You know, the problem is there's too many bad things in this horrible village.
What is happening?
You know, I agree. I agree with Bakamo.
I gotta reach into my pack, pull out my personal flask, take a big pull on it, and resign myself to whatever.
Wet Rock, I got some 12-year here for you. It's been aged. You can.
You know, I will follow. I believe I would follow Bagmo into a burning building.
Bagmo, what are you doing?
Guess we better go get Arena because it's getting late. But I am very distressed over all of the bad things that are happening, and I don't have enough hours in the day or health or spell slots to fix all of them. And I'm very stressed out.
That's right. I don't want to go in there looking for a fight when we're so whipped already.
I don't think we'd have to fight them. We can just offer them a pastry.
You think this is going to be one of those, we'll knock them out and sprinkle crack on them later and
all right.
That's the way out of here.
What are you doing? I'll give you the action. Bert Beasley, what are you doing? You've knocked on the door, there's no response.
Bert Beasley's gonna bang on the door and say, "We saved your kid and we got you a pastry."
There is no response at all.
Wow.
You see a faint candlelight inside.
Bert Beasley is gonna ask if we should kick in the door or leave. That's kind of our only options here.
I think Bagamo is in favor of leaving. Wet Rock is in favor of leaving. I leave it
I guess we're
to
leaving.
I leave it up to Bert to decide what Bert is doing.
Bert Beasley is just so curious about these pies and thinks it's really the key to the whole thing.
You gonna do it?
He's gonna kick in the door for
Okay,
sure.
just make me a quick strength check. Or athletics or something like that. Strength or athletics to kick it in. Yeah, you kick it in. The door breaks off of its lock and it flies open with a wham. And inside you see a dimly lit house with a couple of candles burning. You don't hear or see much else. A young boy. You do hear whimpering cry sounds around the corner.
Bert Beasley's gonna take the pastry out of his bag and hold it in his hand and walk in and call for the
Okay, make me a
come out.
dexterity check.
Bert Beasley is not dexterous,
Mm.
but he is today.
It's pretty good. A young boy tries to snatch the pastry out of your hands, but you whip it back just in time as he comes running by. And yeah, he fails in his attempt to grab said pastry from you. And he's there in front of you. It is in fact the young boy that was in the locked cabinet underneath the old woman's cart.
Son, where are your parents? Why did they give you to that old woman?
He sort of whimpers a little bit and points down the hallway.
Bert Beasley is going down the hallway.
Okay. Down the hallway, you find a bedroom. There's a man and a woman there. They're lying on the ground at candlelight, and there are pastries beside them. They appear to be in some sort of deep, deep trance. Deep sleeping trance.
Bert Beasley is going to try to shake one of them awake.
No such luck.
Wow. No such luck, huh?
Yep, unless you're gonna really, really let them have what for. Just a simple
Bert
shake.
Beasley is gonna peck him in the gut.
Okay. Make me an attack roll.
Oh my goodness. It's escalating.
This is an unarmed strike. That'll hit. Give me the damage. Yeah. You kick him in the gut, this commoner that has 5 HP, and you see blood spits out of the man's mouth as you stomp on him.
Wow.
Oh my god, this is a police home invasion.
Well, now the kid's an orphan.
God.
He doesn't seem to break from the trance, however.
He's just spitting blood up.
Yeah, he's spitting up blood now.
Bert Beasley's gonna crouch down and
Give him some beer.
and they'll use one of his hands, lay on hands, pull to restore him to 1 HP.
Okay, make me a dexterity saving throw. While you're doing that, the young boy snatches the dream pastry from your other hand, and you see him on the other end of the room gobbling it down.
That's fine. Does the person who I killed and then revived wake up from their trance? Not a bit. Wow.
Oh man, if even the kids are drug addicted. I don't know what we can do here.
Oh god.
It seems like this is out of our hands. Bert Beasley's just gonna leave.
Okay, well, at least we're not gonna burn the house down.
What you said? Were there any pastries next to the adults? If so, he's gonna take them.
Yeah, there are a couple.
Yeah, he takes them.
So Urgoth says with a little bit of light in his eye, "What? We're burning the house down?"
Yeah.
Urgoth, make me a wisdom saving throw as you're surrounded by dream pastries.
Oh no, that's fair. I've apparently got a problem.
Urgoth, you have the overwhelming urge to take one of those suckers and have just a little nibble of it.
Can I try to sneakily grab one of these pastry bits that
Yeah, sure.
are later in the room?
Yeah, sure. Make me a sleight of hand check.
Okay, because I want to do this in a way that other people don't see.
You do it.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah, DC 10.
Okay, so I want to be very clear about this. Urgoth's doing this. John Hawkins isn't.
Yeah.
This isn't what I would do.
You
But,
can't help it.
we got you.
You're a drug
Yeah.
addict.
Urgoth's his own man here, and yeah, he sort of pockets some of the material here.
Okay. All right. You have a bit of a dream pastry on you.
Wow.
Can we go now?
Yeah,
Let's go get Arena.
that did not work out at all. Like I thought it would.
Christ. I'm just glad we didn't kill anybody.
Okay. You make your way to the Burgomaster's mansion, and there you find Irina Kolonovich, and her brother Ismar Kindirovich is there with her. I assume you tell her that you've arranged for the burial of her father in the morning.
Yep.
And
Time to hustle to the inn. We can't let you stay here.
Not
you
safe.
tell her to come with you to the inn to remain safe in numbers.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna have a little slumber party.
Okay.
What do you guys know about dream pastries?
You're asking, who are you asking? Irina or Ismark?
Both.
Who are you directing? Both?
Yeah.
They say those that become addicted to them must sell anything to get them.
Like their own child.
Yes.
What do they do?
They allow you to escape. In your dreams, you escape the darkness. You're transported to a wonderful world. Many people prefer to remain in the dream rather than to remain here. They would give anything.
Darkness.
They would give their own child to stay in the dream.
Why hasn't anyone handled this situation?
What is the situation to him?
Getting rid of this creepy old drug dealing lady. Clap her in irons.
I mean,
String her up for child trafficking. I don't
They
know.
couldn't get any more pastries.
the
Everyone's
darkness does surround. Escaping the darkness doesn't sound terrible.
It is like anyone who takes one of these pies like immediately addicted.
No,
No.
but the urge always becomes to have another, and another, and another. And upon having enough, eventually, if you've lived your entire life in the darkness, a glimpse of the sun feels like heaven. And what would you give to escape this darkness?
Word.
Some will give their firstborn child. This is just rumors, but this is what I know.
Right.
And they agree to come with you to the inn. You arrive at the Blood of the Vine Inn. You have Ismark with you, not at the inn. And you have Irina with you. Let me get Irina. Hang on just a moment. Sorry. Irina Kolania. Ismark and Dervish. As you arrive at the Blood of the Vine, you see the same three women wearing more brightly colored clothing that you had seen previously, the owners of the Blood of the Vine. And they all greet you, and they greet Ismark. Ah, Ismark the Lesser, returned with your sister, nonetheless. And you bring friends. Welcome, welcome. You all are not from around here. This is the second time that I have seen you, marks one of them.
Thanks for letting us stay at your establishment.
It is our pleasure. We are here to ensure payment is arranged. You need room? You need rooms? Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Do you happen to have any rooms without windows?
Rooms without vampires.
There are 2 rooms with no windows.
We'll take those.
This is all you wish? 2 rooms? There are but 2 beds. Will you be sleeping upon the floor?
We'll snuggle in.
Yeah. We double up.
No, very, very well.
Who I would want to share a bed with.
Uh,
Maybe
You see the same, like the same barkeep, sort of, that was just like cleaning the glasses repetitively over there in the corner. He's a pudgy little man, who sort of is tending the bar. Are you just turning in for the night, or are you getting dinner or asking questions or anything like that?
I do need to eat my feelings. It's been an emotional day.
Okay.
yeah, I'm ready to go to the bar as well.
Okay. Head over to the bar, and Ismark will join you. I'll move Ismark over there. And I think Irina will join as well.
Sense.
And Bagmo, you're wanting to eat something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get some food too.
Are you all sitting at the bar, or are you getting a table, or what?
Not the bar.
There's tables and the bar. You can all sit at the bar if you want.
I'm already there, friend.
All right. You are offered the evening meal, which is like some sort of stew. It is 5 silver pieces for the stew, and it is 1 gold piece for the room.
Per room?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll cover everybody for both rooms. 1 gold piece for the rooms, 5 silver pieces for the meal.
Nice. I'm getting a meal.
Okay. If somebody else could pick out the rooms, because I threw some
I
money
have-
at that.
I have
drug dealer.
I have all kinds of money. I'll get the room.
Okay. The one of the women in more brightly colored clothing walks over to you and says, "What is it you are all doing here?"
A little sightseeing gone awry.
Ah, you were brought here. You must have some role to play in it all. Huh?
Is there a game afoot?
Bert Beasley, I understand that you're travelers who travel the open road. Is that correct?
My people used to travel more. We still do from time to time. We come, we go, we make camp.
How tomorrow we plan to set out to another town, a fortified city. How do you protect yourselves in the wild? We've come across this evil fog that burns and hurts. How do
My
your
pe
people manage?
my people are granted special passage by the Lord of the land.
Oh, how did you get that? Why would he give that to your people?
She says, centuries ago, my people came to the aid of the prince in his time of need. And since then, we have been granted special permission by him.
Oh, wow. Does he leave you alone entirely, or just
He calls on us from time to time when he needs, and when he calls upon us, we do as is required.
what does he need from you?
I do not know. I do not question to know the mind of the Lord of the land.
Interesting.
Information.
Nice. Collaborators. That's all the questions we asked for him, really.
She looks at you and she says, you should seek out Madame Eva. Madame Eva is the vizier of my people.
You mentioned her before, but I've forgotten where you said she resides.
She would be at the encampment by the Serre pool. My people have an encampment there. She is a seer. She can tell you what you need to know.
Okay, thanks. To everyone else, Brett Beasley says that it does sound like later, before we set out on this adventure to the fortified city, we might want to stop by there and see if they know how to travel. Our few times out at night, there's been the terrible fog and all the werewolves, and it might be helpful to have some hints about the land.
Sure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But since these
Right.
guys, well, I guess, do you tell us anything about the conversation you had where you found out what they are, or are you just coming over to say we should go by the place?
Just talk to the travelers, and there might be someone who can give us more information and help us.
Do you trust the travelers?
Well, they do travel, so that I would trust from them. But anything else, as much as anyone in this town, which is not much because they're all drug addicts. So
Ismark looks over and says, the Vistani, they have no love for the devil any more than anyone else here. But trust is difficult. They may be able to provide information. It may be helpful, but always be wary of anyone.
With our run of luck, I don't want to walk into a trap again.
Indeed. All right. Everybody turning in for the night?
Mm-hmm.
Think so.
All right. How are you doing that? Just going to bed?
Yep.
We lock the door or anything, or
Well, I think we probably need to set up watch, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask if we're
Yeah.
doing watches. Yeah,
It's up to y'all.
might not be a bad idea.
Watches since we brought them
Yeah, I
over.
think we should set up watch.
Well, I'm kind of a night owl
They'll just flunk
anyway,
out.
so I could help.
All right. Who's got first watch?
I'll be happy to do
Nico
first.
is
Oh, you
kind
go
of
ahead.
a night owl, so.
So Nico, you take last watch then.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There'll be 4 watches. You need 4 people to take them so that you need to get enough sleep to count for a long rest. If you don't get enough sleep, it doesn't count as long rest.
Okay. Okay.
I'll do first watch.
Okay. Who's got 2?
I'll do second.
Bagmo's 2. Who's got 3?
Bert Beasley.
Brent Beasley 4 and Nico 5. Or Nico's 4. All right. First watch is without event. Ergoth.
Is there any furniture in the room?
You want me to move you to? Actually, let me move you to your rooms.
Okay.
Who else in what room? Who are roomies?
I'd
Well,
like to share.
probably brother and sister would be more comfortable. We kept them together.
Oh, these are tiny rooms since you wanted the ones only with no windows.
Yep. I'm piling in with brother and sister because I'm tired.
All right. You're in there.
Right.
Then I'll put I'll put Wet Rock Bagmo in there, and then I'll put everybody else in another room. We got a room of 4 and a room of 3.
Sweet.
All right, there's your rooms.
And then we'll rotate in. I mean, the watch we're primarily watching over brother and sister, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll just rotate into this room.
Yeah.
We could just watch from the hallway here, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, however you want to do it.
that's a good idea. So I guess I'll be out here. And so
Yep.
is this a piece of furniture out here?
It's a fireplace.
Is it lit?
Yeah.
So
No lid.
I'm thinking deeply about this pastry situation. And I'm basically holding it in my hand and I'm extremely torn about whether to eat it or to throw it into the fire. Is this something I can decide, or is this something I should roll for?
Character choice.
I think I'm going to try to claw myself back here, and I'm going to throw it into the fire.
Okay. Ergoth, you toss the pastry into the fire. As you do, you hear a sort of a hissing noise as the flames consume it.
Do I notice anything interesting or bizarre about the flames themselves?
No.
Okay. Interesting. So you said my watch goes without note otherwise?
Without note otherwise. Bagmo.
Who's on
Bagmo,
second?
which who you're number 2, Wet Rock?
Yeah, I'll do number 2.
All right, that is a 2 on my die. So your watch goes without event.
Sweet.
Bagmo, were you 3?
Sure.
Okay. Bagmo, how much HP do you have prior to this rest?
7.
7. Yeah. All right. Your watch goes without event. And Nico. Also without event. Very lucky.
Great.
Lucky night. Everybody has achieved a long rest. Bagmo, although you have achieved a long rest right now, you have restored your spell slots, you've restored your HP. You did not sleep well, Bagmo. You had very, very strange, bad dreams, Bagmo. They were not sweet dreams. You feel tired upon awakening. Not exhausted or anything, but just tired. The one thing that you remember dreaming of, Pagmo, is remember seeing the sounds of what looks like human bones being crushed by mighty gears that are turning. And you remember hearing screams of what sounds like children screaming that prevented you from sleeping very well. And you didn't get a real good sense of what you were seeing other than these giant gears and grinders crushing bone and the screams of children that prevented you from sleeping well.
That sounds haunting.
Should have put my warhammer in that old lady's head.
I like that, how that's her reaction.
I know it was her.
Yeah, so the next day comes, and you all wake, and I assume you're going to the cemetery for the burial?
Yep. Time for a sunrise ceremony.
Sunrise ceremony.
Okay.
A sunrise interment.
There's not much of a sunrise as the sun dwells behind cloud. Donovich says a few words as two bodies are prepared, Doru, his son, and Burgomaster Kolin and Dirovich, as two fresh graves have been prepared, and both of the bodies are laid to rest. He blesses them and prays to the Morning Lord that their spirits be able to eventually flee this horrible land. And he turns to all of you and he says, well, I suppose it is better Doru at rest than as he was.
He was a brave boy.
Thank you, I suppose, in many ways. He looks over at all of you and he looks at Irina and he says, see to her safety. She is certainly not safe here. I do not wish her to wind up like Doru. Perhaps there is an abbey of Saint Markovia in the town of Krezek. That may be a place that she could be safe. The Abbey of Saint Markovia may be able to provide sanctuary for her from the devil, Strahd. Or perhaps, failing that, the fortified town of Valaki. But I favor perhaps the Abbey of Saint Markovia. Please, keep her safe.
Do not allow there.
Do not.
Why do you favor it? Oh, wait, is he talking to all of us or just?
Yeah. He's talking to all of you outside of Irina's like earshot, basically.
Yeah.
Just keep her safe. He says that the order of the Abbey, basically, like they're good people of the good faith, and he feels like maybe that would be a place to maintain her safety.
Are there places where the devil is able to hold less sway, or is he pretty much able to go as he pleases through any of these towns or any of these areas?
He comes and goes as he pleases in his lands.
So any refuge is relative.
Indeed. He is here. Now. He is everywhere.
Spooky.
This is his domain. Oh. Okay. Irina looks at you all and she says, I do not fancy being ferried from my home, but if we must go, then I will do as I must. And she's a striking young woman. She has auburn red hair, and most of the villagers seem to be a little bit frightened of her to some degree. And she is wearing some armor and bearing a sword.
Wow.
She says, I will go with you as it is my brother's command and wish. I do not favor leaving my home, but if it is what is for the best, I will do this. Ismark looks over at you all and he says, I've come to realize that since my father is dead and Irina will be leaving with you, there will be no one here to help protect the city of Barovia. The people here need me. I think it may be best if I stay and let Irina go with you. Take her to Vallaki. Keep her safe. And may the Lords bless you and you find some way to escape this place or to end the devil that curses us all.
Where do you think we should take her? The Abbey or the fortified town?
I favor Vallaki. The burgomaster there may be able to provide protection for her.
That's the fortified town?
It is as fortified as any town can be here.
Hmm.
If there is anywhere that the devil has less influence, it would be there.
Walls are also great at keeping people in, not just out.
This is true. I fear we have no hope. It is but little hope. We put our faith in those such as you.
Might not be terrible to parlay with some friendlies at the Abbey.
I want to give a quick flashback that I forgot to give you guys.
Okay.
During your watch. Who was third watch?
That was me.
Bagamo. And it'd be Bagamo. Bagamo, I assume you'd be walking around checking out all the windows and everything like that. Okay. During third watch, you see something. And there's nothing that comes of this, so I don't think it's going to matter that I forgot to tell you this. Outside in the streets through the windows, you see an eerie green light. It suffuses from the graveyard, and from this light emerged a ghostly procession. Wavering images of doughty women toting great swords and wood-wise men with slender bows. Dwarves with glittering axes, archaically dressed mages with beards and strange pointed hats. All of them marching forth from the graveyard, numbers growing 1 second after the other as this march of green glowing ghosts proceeds out of the graveyard and down, around, and out of the city. And you can see this line of glowing ghosts as it passes through the city, leading all the way up to the giant castle that overlooks the city of Barovia. The Castle Ravenloft, as this line of glowing ghosts of what look like dwarves bearing axes and wizards and whatever else marching upon the castle. And it passes at the end of your watch. The ghosts disappear and dissipate. And if you went outside to look at it, the images just pass right through you, interacting with you absolutely not in no way. Any attempt to strike them, damage them, does absolutely nothing.
I don't know if Bagamo is sure if this wasn't like another dream or hallucination or something.
Yep. This happened during your watch, so you're fairly certain you were awake, but your dreams when you were asleep were terrible.
Are you sure Bagmo didn't take a drug pie?
No, this is what Bagmo saw during her
Okay.
third watch. I forgot what to tell you happened during third watch. I apologize for that.
I think if
This is-
Bagmo had a pastry, it would be sunshine and rainbows and ponies.
That's right.
So glowing green ghosts rising out of the graveyard, eventually marching their way around towards the castle. Ismark looks at you all and he says, "Sister, I love you. Be safe. Go with these folk. They are our best chance." And Irina looks at you all and she says, "Well, off we go, I suppose."
Let's hit the trail.
Bagmo, do you
Yeah.
ask or bring anything up about the ghostly procession that you saw?
No.
Do you tell anybody about it?
No, because I'm not sure.
Got a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Bring you to the map.
Are we gonna hit up those fortune tellers?
That's what I thought we wanted to do before we head out.
That's what the Vistani suggested. They said that they're at a camp at a place called the Serpool, which would be outside of town. All right, you guys are all. Let me find something to mark where you're at. Okay. One moment, please. This map is not marked for you guys. You can all see the map?
Yep.
Okay. How about we use maybe Wet Rock
Yeah.
as our
Sure.
marker? One Wet Rock. I'll put you on there. Hang on. Okay, Wet Rock, you're here. Actually, let me. Oop, there you are. All right, you all are here at the village of Barovia. The Vistani would tell you where the Serpool is if you had asked them. It is. Well, you'll see.
Aren't we going to see them?
Yeah, they said it was on the outskirts of town.
Yeah.
You know that it's not the other way because you came from that way. So you head outwards. And one moment. Wet Rock, you're able to, as you start marching down the road, each hex here is a quarter mile.
Yeah.
That's half a mile. That's a mile. As you all pass this first bridge, you cross a burbling river. It's flowing clear blue as like a wintry sky through the valley. There's a stone bridge that you are all crossing over. And as you do, on the far end, not heading your way, but sort of heading off on some sort of side path, you catch a glimpse of something. You catch the glimpse of, through the mist, there is a skeletal warhorse and a skeletal rider clad in what looks like ruined chainmail. And the skeletal rider appears to be holding up a rusted lantern that doesn't appear to be giving off any light at all.
We're not in conflict with that thing. We just see it.
You just see it going by, moving down the pathway.
Look at everybody and kind of be like, "What the?" I'm whispering, but I'm very curious as to what in the hell that was and where this camp for the seer is.
Can we ask Irina if she's ever heard of these this skeletal rider? I mean, we're not far outside of our town.
Irina tells you that there are many ghosts of former people. There are many ghosts of the former guard of Ravenloft. Echoes of the past. Be quiet and leave it be.
I like that plan. Do you know of the seer for the travelers?
She says, I have heard of this Madame Eva before. It is said that I have never met her. It is said that she has the gift of sight. And she may be able to tell us some way to our salvation.
I'm willing to try anything that's not drug pies.
And if anybody needs someone to try a drug pie,
I'll try it.
Okay.
I'll try it.
You guys travel on down the road. The skeletal rider eventually passes. So that's another mile. Check and see if you have a random encounter or nay.
The skeletal rider, he didn't wave or acknowledge us in any way.
No, made absolutely no acknowledgement.
And we did not acknowledge him either.
As long as you didn't do anything.
Nope, didn't do anything. I didn't even think about waving at him. Nope.
Okay.
Oop.
There is no encounter here. As you press onwards, eventually you come to a new location. There is a fork in the road. Right after you crossed the... Irina tells you that the name of the river is the River Ilvis. I'll label it here for you. And you come to this fork in the road. I'm going to take you in there now. At the fork in the road, an old wooden gallows stands before you at the fork in the road. An old wooden gallows creaks in a chill wind that blows down from high ground to the west. A frayed length of rope dances from its beam. The well-worn road splits here. A signpost opposite the gallows points off in 3 directions. Barovia village to the east, from where you came. Serpool to the northwest into the forest. And then Ravenloft / Valaki to the southwest. The northern fork slants down and disappears into the trees. The southwest fork clings to an upward slope across from the gallows. There is a low crumbling wall in places partially enclosing a small plot of graves. They're shrouded in the fog. The graves are entirely unmarked. They appear old.
I mean, I guess we want to go to the pools.
Everybody roll perception.
Perception.
14. Go 7, bag at 12. We're on 14. Bert, you're terrible. Wet rock.
He's not deceptive. A lot of insurance fraud has gotten by him in the company. So
they just had to failing upward and had to keep him. We can't trust him to do the actual work, but he's a natural insurance man.
Wet rock.
Somebody.
Yes.
Wet rock and Urgoth. You hear a sound. Something from behind you, sort of a creaking, cracking sort of sound. And you turn to look, and you don't see much. And when you turn back, you all see a body hanging from the gallows that wasn't there previously.
What?
Oh,
Who is it?
Wet Rock, I think you pointed out this sound that you sort of heard in the distance to everyone, and everybody, as they sort of turn to sort of scout out what it was that you heard, as you turn back, there is a body hanging there. Urgoth, you don't recognize the body. It's just some body hanging there. Nico, you don't recognize the body at all. It is a random person. Bert Beasley, you don't recognize the body hanging there at all. Bagamo, you don't recognize the body hanging there at all. Wet Rock, you do recognize the body. Wet Rock, you see yourself hanging there.
Oh boy.
You see clear as the day. Wet Rock, you see Wet Rock hanging from those gallows there.
What could this mean? Do you guys see that?
It's just some random person.
Some random person? It's me!
As you say that, there are sounds, and you start to hear hands and fingers crawling their way up from the mud surrounding you. As crawling up around you in all places are multiple horrific looking, half dead, half decomposed creatures pulling themselves out of the ground and out of the mud around you all. And when we return next week will be when everyone is rolling the initiative.
The school's full.
I wonder if...
Well, historically, you've been the only good person at fighting. Yeah.
The roads just aren't safe anymore.
No, they really.
Oh my God, they keep coming. They keep popping up.
Yeah, as multiple pull themselves out of the foggy ground.
Oh boy, we're surrounded.
We are surrounded.
So you find yourself surrounded by what appear to be largely undead, half decomposing creatures. They appear to be wearing what looks like old, decomposing regalia or armor of some sort, pulling themselves out of the muck. Wet Rock, you see an image of yourself hanging there from the gallows, whereas everyone else sees nothing but another body. This is where we'll leave you for the night. Hope you guys are enjoying the game so far. Enjoying Curse of Strahd.
I'm loving the creepy
Hawkins,
shit.
is it living up to the creepy factor?
Absolutely.
And I really enjoyed the background music this time.
I just want to find out what's going on with those pies. You
need it.
You will.
Yeah.
You want to study those dream pies.
Well,
yeah.
I can tell you this: you're probably gonna figure that out. I'm not sure that you want to know.
Uh-oh. Foreshadowing. All right.
All right. Bye.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Right.